Hello, I'm Ravi Patil, Director of Mainframe Cybersecurity at Broadcom. I'm here in Times Square, and just blocks away are the world's leading financial institutions. They all have one thing in common. They're under attack by cyber gangs. And as fast as these lights blink, you can be sure that ransomware and phishing attacks are unfolding. If you're watching this video, it means you have something prized by cyber attackers. Sensitive customer information that can be monetized against your will. If you're watching this video, it also means that your company owns a mainframe, an amazing computing platform that runs your core business processes. Let's have a look.
This is the IBM Z16. A single machine can handle 1 trillion transactions per day, dwarfing the 9 billion daily Google searches. Here's an inside view of a single-frame Z16. It's compatible with a standard 19-inch rack and can be expanded up to 4 frames. You'll note the same components found in a data center: processing units, network cards, and so forth. Except that you don't need hundreds of servers. You just need a mainframe. The key question is, how do I secure this? The good news is that you know far more about mainframe security than you realize, though it may not seem apparent because of the terminology. You reboot your machine, but a mainframer will IPL it. Same thing. You may talk about images or virtual machines, while a mainframer will speak about LPARs, logical partitions. You may apply a patch, but in the world of mainframe, that's a PTF, or program temporary fix. While the words are different, the concepts are the same. In this video, I will demystify mainframe security further by showing you that the security controls implemented on other platforms also apply to the mainframe.
If you enjoy action thrillers like Mission Impossible, or espionage flicks like James Bond, these movies involve subverting security in some fashion. Unfortunately, these stories are not limited to the world of fiction, and we find cases where life actually imitates art. Please consider the following true stories that demonstrate the persistence and creativity of hackers.
A U.S. financial company noted unusual activity on its team collaboration space. Analysis revealed that a user on company Wi-Fi was also logged in at home several miles away. Investigators eventually went to the roof and found 2 weaponized drones, outfitted with a Raspberry Pi and other gear. One drone had intercepted an employee's credentials and was attempting to burrow deeper into the network. Let's move from the roof to the inside lobby. On a typical sunny day in Las Vegas, casino goers walked by a new aquarium on their way to the poker tables. This high-tech aquarium full of exotic fish was doing its job, but something fishy was going on. A thermometer mounted inside the fish tank was connected to the cloud. I think you know where this is headed. Hackers entered the casino network through the thermometer, found their way to the High Roller database, and exfiltrated 10 gigs of data back to Finland through that very same unsecure thermometer. It's not likely that a mainframe was breached in these past 2 stories, but they serve as cautionary tales. Today's mainframe is just an API call away from your front-end apps. While the creativity of hackers is boundless, the good news is that most security incidents can be traced to a handful of root causes, whether it be the failure to patch software, having weak or default passwords, and so on. While this list isn't comprehensive, it's comforting that discipline around the fundamentals goes a long way in thwarting cyber attacks. Let's see how mainframe addresses these root causes. Zero trust is a great way to anchor our discussion given U.S. executive orders and regulatory mandates. Simply defined, zero trust is never trust, always verify. It requires users to prove their identities during every step of an interaction. Once inside, users only have access based on a specific, well-defined need. The minimum amount of access is given to complete work, also known as the principle of least privilege. Zero trust not only verifies each human and their activities, but also each device. It goes further to say that companies must assume they'll be breached, so continuous monitoring must be in place to thwart, triage, and respond to malicious behavior. Did you know that Mainframe enforces the principle of least privilege right out of the box? Here's how. This is a highly simplified view of a mainframe software stack, with the z/OS operating system as the base layer. For simplicity, I haven't included subsystems like CICS regions and databases. In order to implement mainframe security, you must always begin with an external security manager, or ESM. And there are only 3 in the market: 2 from Broadcom, ACF2 and Top Secret, and IBM RACF. Note that Broadcom's mainframe security portfolio is fully compatible across all 3 ESMs. Right out of the box on the mainframe, no one has access to anything unless explicitly authorized, so the principle of least privilege is a core tenet of mainframe security. In addition to managing identities and access, ESMs also manage a company's underlying security policies and processes. You can think of the ESM as the central security brain, but this is just the start. I think of cybersecurity as an onion with layers of security that mitigate risk. If an attacker gets past one layer, they're stopped at the next. The mainframe security capabilities shown here work in concert with Zero Trust. You just heard about the access control provided by the ESMs, but over time, your employees typically get entitled with more access on the mainframe. You also have new employees coming on board, some changing roles, and others departing. Recall that over-provisioned IDs are a common root cause for cybersecurity breaches, so it's important to analyze your user IDs and entitlements, and perform hygiene to bring them back to least privilege. Broadcom's solution helps to dramatically shrink the size of the attack surface in this way. Next is multi-factor authentication, or MFA. All of you are accustomed to logging into your bank accounts by providing a password as well as a second factor, usually a text message code. This capability is available on the mainframe and is critical to mitigating risk. A username and password is simply not enough because a hacker may already have this info from a phishing attack. Even if your basic credentials are compromised, an additional factor can stop such an attack in its tracks. That being said, I'm alarmed that most mainframe users have more security on their social media accounts than their own mainframe ID. We have taken a major leap by integrating our mainframe security solution with capabilities from Symantec, our sister division, to create an enterprise-wide MFA solution, inclusive of cloud, distributed, and mainframe. In so doing, we've also rescued those mainframe apps that are limited to static 8-character passwords by dynamically generating a fresh token each login. Peeling back the onion further, we find privileged access management. Privileged users on the mainframe have extensive access to the most sensitive resources in the data center and are prime targets for phishing attacks. Unfortunately, some organizations still use a pool of shared privileged user IDs and passwords. This is extremely risky, violates fundamental security principles, and also increases the risk of malicious insiders. Broadcom's solution temporarily elevates access for privileged users when required, and then automatically de-elevates access when no longer needed. All activities are logged for compliance and audit reporting. This is yet another form of enforcing the principle of least privilege. Combining multi-factor authentication with privileged access management is a powerful 1-2 punch. I mentioned earlier that Zero Trust is based on the assumption that you will be breached. So if someone compromises your mainframe, you need to be alerted right away and know exactly what they did. Broadcom's solution continuously monitors the mainframe for configuration changes, policy violations, and anomalies in real time and immediately alerts the organization. It is highly configurable based on your processes and supplies data to SIM tools like Splunk and QRadar. Continuous monitoring is a must, as time is of the essence if a hacker enters your mainframe. Ransomware gangs encrypt your data and then demand a ransom that must be paid before they'll decrypt your data. They target your data backups as well, so you're left stranded. Of course, the best way to deal with ransomware is to prevent it in the first place by employing the other security controls mentioned. But the master stroke is having immutable storage, backups that cannot be changed or deleted. Broadcom's immutable storage solution provides significant security benefits as well as flexibility and cost savings. And finally, we come to compliance, the process of proving that you're actually secure. Increasing regulations are driving more audits and turning compliance into a continuous process. Broadcom's solution integrates data across the security environment and provides user-friendly, self-service audit reporting, along with actionable recommendations to remediate risk. With just a few clicks, customers can compare their security posture with best practices and find definitive answers to questions like, who has access to system-critical libraries? Is my sensitive data pervasively encrypted? You've seen today that the fundamental security principles used on cloud and distributed also underlie the mainframe. The mainframe is the most securable platform because of these capabilities. It's just a matter of turning them on. Oh, by the way, just a quick note on encryption. While absolutely necessary, it's not the silver bullet. No matter how strong, encryption is only as good as the humans protecting the keys. So encryption should be used alongside the controls just discussed. Now, there's far more to the story than just technology. There's a worldwide shortage of security skills across all platforms. Broadcom continues to invest in a variety of beyond-code programs to help recruit talent, educate employees, plan for upgrades, and implement new capabilities, all at no cost to our customers. These valuable programs are covered in a separate video, and I invite you to learn more.
We're often presented with messages of fear in the security space, the doom and gloom of hackers wreaking havoc in the world. While it's true that cyber attacks are becoming increasingly sophisticated, we don't have to be victims. The mainframe is the most securable platform, and as you've learned today, we have what we need to thwart even the most sophisticated attacks. It's just a matter of taking that next step. So please contact me if you'd like to explore the path that's right for you. Broadcom is here to partner with you. Be secure, be safe, be well. Thanks.